All right, so this is part 2 because I got cut off last time of the break-even explanation. Okay, so this is the strategy. I have it enabled. I'm about to run it in market replay so you can see how the break-even offset, when it gets triggered, which you won't actually be able to see, but if you knew the price or where it needed to go to get triggered, we can talk about that, and then you will see it physically move itself. So you can see here, I just wanted to show you my break-even trigger is 50. So it has to go 50 ticks in the positive direction, in my favor, before the stop loss will move from the back of the range. And when it moves, it will move itself to the offset, which is +5. So it will move itself 5 ticks in the green while my trade is running. All right, so I got this set up here. I'm going to make it go a little faster. At this point, you should know, I get this question a lot too. Why isn't the blue box showing? Why isn't the blue box showing? Guys, the blue box doesn't show up until the trading time is over for the range. Not trading time, I apologize. The range time. The range start, the range end. It has to end first before the blue box is displayed because it is measuring the high and the low between those times. So it can't show you the box before that time is up because it doesn't know what the low and the high is until that time has concluded. So on this one, it's 10:50. Another thing, please don't be afraid of new settings. I will be giving them as I give all of my settings now. You will have the settings that I've been testing, the settings that we've been using. I'm going to test another week, and I'm requiring everyone else to do so because we do not have enough data on this yet. But let's just get to the point here.
Order submitted.
All right, let me pause it. Okay, that happened really fast. Did you see that? So this is the 35 tick. I can stretch it out a little bit so you can get to see it a little better. It left the blue box, right? It left the blue box. It made a new high. Now it's moving towards our target, which is 100 ticks. It has clearly hit or triggered the 50 ticks. Again, nothing is going to happen at that 50 tick trigger except for the stop loss moving from the back of the range. So the stop loss was all the way down here before. Now you can see it right here in this light pink, palish color. It is now in the green, and the way that you can see that, let me just stretch this out even more and push the F over here, it'll focus you, is because look, this is my entry, right? You see this tan line? That's my entry. It's 77.25. This is now my stop loss. So if the price comes down here before it goes up here, I will be taken out with a very, very small profit. So let me slow this down and we'll play it out and see what happens.
Target filled.
All right, so this was the first trade on Friday where it went straight to target, which I talked about in the previous video. Now we're going to see when it comes back down. Those other ones were a little more choppy. We'll have to see what happens. We're going to see it come back to the blue box and leave the blue box again, and then it will take another trade. But currently I'm up $1,000, and that's on 4 minis.
Order submitted.
I'm sorry, 2 minis. All right, so it came back in the blue box. It's now leaving the blue box. It made a new high. And yes, this happens very fast because this is the 35 tick. There are other situations where it's not going to be as fast, but I'm just showing you this one as an example because a lot of you have been trading the 35 tick lately and you're aware of the movements that have happened. So look at this. Our trigger has not hit yet because the price has not gone in our favor 50 ticks. The stop loss is at the opposite end of the blue box. It will move itself if we get to 50 ticks. If we don't, it will stay here. This is what I mean about still having the potential for a full loss. If 50 ticks is not acquired, if the trade just turns around right now and drops all the way down to here, I'm going to have a full loss. That is how a loss can still happen. I want that to be very, very clear. So look at this. This is a trade from yesterday. So it went green a little bit. It's green even more. Okay, now our offset is there. You see that? Okay, we hit 50 ticks. Our offset, our stop loss has now been moved up. We are now in the green regardless if we hit this profit or not. I think this one doesn't hit, so we can see what happens when it doesn't hit the target, and rather it hits the stop loss, which is in profit.
Order filled.
All right, so there it is. So now this trade got long over here. It kind of did this wavy thing. Once it got up here, that was the 50 ticks. It acquired the 50 ticks. It was able to move the stop loss up. The stop loss was moved up. The price pulled back before it hit target. And now we are out with a small win. That was a $30 win. So let me show you the performance on those two trades. Here we go. So it's going to show 100%. You go to, click here, go to trades. It will show you the trades. So these were just kind of exited separately. But $1,000 on the first trade, $500 for each contract. And then the second trade, we got out at the stop loss. See here it says stop loss instead of profit target. We got out at the stop loss, but it was a green stop loss because it's in the green 5 ticks, and I made $30. So now I'm still 100% on the day, but I'm up $1,030. And this one ended up going to the full target, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm trying to bring to the group, protecting capital, and hopefully not having you hit those big moves down. Like there was one, I think yesterday, where it kind of went even further down. So let's see if we can get one more trade in here before this video is going too long. But this is the premise. What I need you to understand from these two videos. All right, so this is the one that I think goes pretty red. Again, so this is what I mean about you can still have pullbacks and you can still have full losses. Because if it immediately goes down, there was no way you hit 50 ticks. There's no way you hit 50 ticks for your stop loss to be able to move itself up. So look, it's all the way down here. So we'll play this a little bit and see kind of how red it gets. So look, it's red $1,200. Like this is very normal. Now it's going to curl back up at some point, but it was pretty red for a little while. It's red 1,500. But this is the 35 tick. This is kind of what we're used to. It gets in really quickly, but then it can have these bigger pullbacks. So something else I was about to touch on. Oh, what I really just want you guys to grasp from these two videos is what is happening. So why did I add the break even trigger, the break even offset? I did it to try to help with some drawdowns and try to help with some big losses, and to just give your trade some protection. Obviously, I told you, so all of the settings, I'm going to be providing the settings. We're not, with this kind of a setup, because it can get in and out really quickly with even the break-even offset, I'm going to be increasing the amount of trades per day. But that's all done through back testing that I'm still doing with a few members on the team. So you can see here, it's still kind of pulling back. I might speed it up a little bit so we can see, but it eventually does go up. I think it might be another break-even offset situation. We'll have to see. But yeah, but there's a lot of ways you can use this, and I don't want to put more on your plate or confuse you or anything like that. But there is, okay, so we can see here, we went up, and this is obviously in the area of 50 ticks because the stop loss has now moved up into the green. So we are now in a guaranteed green trade. I say that sometimes because there's no way we can lose now that the stop loss is in the green. We're either going to make $30 or we're going to make $1,000. Those are the only two options
Order
now.
filled.
So there we go. We made $30.
Order submitted.
And now it's right back in another trade. And this one, there's your protection.
Target filled.
Right to target. All right, so what is that? 4 trades so far. I'm up $2,065. And yes, we did have a pullback here for, what was it, $1,800, $1,500 on 2 minis. So you still have to be very aware of that. This video really encompasses what I need you to be aware of and how it's going to look and how it works. So, hopefully we can just go straight to target every time, but sometimes it won't. And then you're going to have, hopefully, this protection. Hopefully you get at least the amount of ticks that you need for your stop loss to move up. But this is another thing that I was saying when it comes to being something that you can really play around with. Because I know somebody who's testing for me, and he really likes the idea of 0. So you can, and again, not to confuse people, but just want to give you all of the information. This trigger, if it's at 0, and so you cannot leave your settings, like once you get the file, it's going to look like this, 0, 0. You cannot leave it like that. That will cause a whole issue. So you cannot do that. You have to change it. But if you want to leave your trigger at 0, that means as soon as you're in the trade, your stop loss will be moved to whatever point this is. Again, you cannot be too close to the trade. So what he does is he does a break-even trigger of 0 and an offset of negative 25 ticks. So what this means is his stop loss is never at the back of the blue range. His stop loss is at negative 25 ticks. And I can actually show you this in person because I'll turn this on and then we'll play it again. Because I think there were another
Order
trade.
submitted.
All right, so look at that. So this stop loss was there immediately. As soon as the trade started, it moved itself up immediately. So it moved itself up. It's right here. And now, but it's just going to stay here. It's never going to go in the green. So then this, if it came back and hit it, instead of hitting the target, you would have a red trade. So in these situations, you're going to have more losing trades, but they're going to be very small in size. Again, there could be some really weird one-off where for some reason it doesn't move up and then, you know, you have a larger pullback or you have a full loss. I just want people to be aware of that. There's going to be no protection for that essentially, unless you have like maybe negative 50 or something like that, something bigger from the entry price. Also, you're going to have, with this kind of setup, you're going to have more losses, but they're going to be small, and your win rate is going to look shittier. So if you ever pull historical data, your win rate is going to be like 50%, 40%, 30%, because a lot of your trades are going to be small losses, but what you're trying to capitalize on are these big wins. So there's two ways to go about it. I just showed you both of them. You can either do what I'm more leaning towards, which is, you know, acquire some ticks in the positive direction and then move my stop loss, give the trade some room. Or you can do what Ryan's doing, which is immediately when the trade starts, your stop loss is just at a much smaller spot than the back. But again, it can't move again. And you can't physically move it. It will just reset itself. So in this instance, it hit target right away. That's another $1,000. So as like 3,000, 4,000, whatever, 3,000, I think. Yep, 3,000, 3 or 4,000. I think 3,000 on the day. So this was really great. And again, I will be updating the strategies, things like maximum entries per range. That is, how many times do you want to take a trade when it leaves the box? I'm going to be updating that to a higher number because in this case, we're going to give it a lot of break evens. We're going to get a lot of either small losses if you're doing the small loss option. If you're doing the break even at 0 option, you're going to have a lot of those. If you're doing the small profit, you're going to have a lot of those. So we want to capitalize more on these big trades, and that is going to take us willing to take more trades per day to get more of these. Because if we want to have a tight stop loss and we want to be really close near the price action, then it's going to require, then we're going to be hit a lot. It's not just going to be like an all day trade. Sometimes some of our trades take, you know, a few hours. That's not going to be the case here. You might get stopped out. Okay, we're stopped out. Now let's wait for the next trade. What we want is we want these trades that go immediately to profit. That is the best thing for us. And I think you all know that. So, but we have to give it the opportunity to take more than 4. Like in this case, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And see how many red ones there are with the small loss put on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But still, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the winnings, and your losses are like, I don't know, $200 or $500, something like that. And then your wins are $1,000. So yeah, so those are the options. I will be giving lots and lots of settings in the spreadsheet. And in this instance, I don't really think people should be blindly following me. I think you should start thinking on your own, because I've developed these videos to really make people start thinking about what is actually happening. What are you doing? You know, what is your money doing for you? How is your trade working? And then you can customize it to what you like. just because I do something doesn't mean it's the right way. It doesn't mean it's the way that might work for you. So I want you to really think about, what are you more comfortable with? Small losses without bigger pullbacks, or, small wins with, there's so many options. So I don't want you guys to blindly follow me. Like, I might not even post what I'm doing anymore each day, because people simply blindly follow me and then ask questions later like, wait, what happened? I don't even know what's going on. You guys, this is your money. You guys are paying for a subscription. You're using your hard-earned money. You need to understand what's happening and how it works. And if you don't, it's essentially like just going and throwing your money, I don't know, at a sports bet that you have no idea, who the teams are. So take a little more time, take one night a week or some time on the weekend, and really look at the chart. Just enable a strategy and scroll back like this. You'll see all the trades. Like, oh, it took a trade here. Oh, it took a trade here. Oh, it took a trade here. Look at the historical data. Really try to understand how this works and how it could benefit you in the best way possible and what would be better for you. And that's really all I can say there. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you fully understand it now. And if you do, then I will be sending you the file. All right. Have a good one. Bye.